are we ready for boot camp session 3? Okay, so we're going to be starting off again today with some breath work, alright? So just a couple of minutes just to ease into the session. Alright, so find a comfortable position. Just have your hands resting down on your legs, gently closing your eyes, sitting up nice and tall out of your hips. And you're just going to turn your attention towards your breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the nose. Nice and gentle, super smooth, as silky as you can. Now I just want you to try and really, really slow down your breathing. Almost as if the little hairs inside your nose are barely moving as you inhale and exhale. As we do this, you're going to start to feel air hunger. Air hunger is formed as the CO2 builds up inside your body. As the CO2 builds up inside your body, it is a catalyst for more oxygen to be released. So as we do this, we're helping to oxygenate our body before our session. Nice slow breaths. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And now you can start to blink your eyes back open. And hopefully you're feeling a little bit more relaxed, in tune with your body and ready for our workout. So we're starting off today with a mobility session. So very first exercise is going to be chest openers. So take your hands behind the back of your head, clasped. And you are going to tilt your head down towards your chest. Elbows come in together as if they want to tap. And then we inhale to open up the chest. Lift the chest towards the sky, eyes looking up, elbows wide. Exhaling, curling back down. Inhaling to lift the chest and open the elbows wide. Exhaling to curl those elbows back in together, head comes down. Really think about opening your elbows up nice and wide as your chest lifts. And as you curl back down, you're only curling with your head. Okay, so you can rest back down there and just come up onto your knees. Beautiful. So you're going to take your right hand across to your left knee, drive the left elbow back, arm reaches back. Then we swoop in straight across to the other side, right elbow drives and reaches back. Eyes are following the hand at all times. Try to stay sitting up nice and straight out of the hips. You're just really thinking about getting that rotation through your rib cage. So really think about it's your rib cage that's rotating round and then you're reaching back. driving in towards the other side and reaching back. Keep going with this one. Last one. Okay, let's come down into a nice child's pose. So, feet together, knees apart, head down on the mat. We're going to do some reach backs. So, drive your right hand into the mat, left hand reaching back, touching your bum, comes forward. And now you're going to drive your left hand into the mat, right hand lifts up over to your bum, coming back over and round. Try to really minimize the rocking in your upper body as you do this, and think about a nice smooth rotation from the shoulder joint. Beautiful. Keep going, just alternating from side to side. Beautiful. Really driving that hand down into the mat. Okay. And we're going to move into the next exercise. So with your hands still stretched out in front, you're going to start to open your palms up towards the sky. So as if your thumb reaches up towards the sky. Now you're going to roll all the way over so that your little finger is reaching up towards the sky. Keep your forehead on the mat. And really think about prizing your shoulder blades apart as you're opening and bringing your thumb up. And then pushing your armpits down as the little finger comes up. Just keep rolling through. Bum still reaching down towards your heels. No tension in your neck at all. We're just rotating through the shoulders. Beautiful. Last one, and come on up. Okay, so we're going to do some lunges here. So you want to have one leg coming out at a 45-degree angle, the other is at a 90-degree angle, and we're going to lunge forward into that leg. And as we do so, pick up opposite hand to the front leg and reach across to the side. Back to center, come back up straight, and now we're lunging forward, reaching over. Come back up. It's quite a small movement, it's a small lunge forward, only until you can feel that hip flexor. This is also a nice one for your psoas muscle. Beautiful. Okay, so now bring that left foot into a straight line here, and we're going to be lunging forward, keep your chest lifted, and then back into a runner's stretch. So forward into the lunge, back runner's stretch. Watch what's happening with your spine. You want to not be overarching as you lunge forward. Keep the back straight, even as you reach forward into the runner's stretch. So you can just put your hands on there, just to make sure you're not flexing through your spine or extending when you come forward. Reach with the chest. Nice. Beautiful. Alright, let's switch sides. So we've got the opposite leg coming out a 45-degree angle. We're going to lunge forward into it. Opposite arm reaches straight up over the head. Don't move your head, just move the arm. And come back to lean, put all the weight on this knee. Then leaning forward into that front foot. Stretching over, coming back, coming forward, just flowing through. Each time you come forward, get a little bit more of that stretch. And try to keep your head in line with your knee. Don't start to shift your ribs out or your head out. You're just reaching up and over. Beautiful. Awesome. So now we're going to come into that straight position, 90-90, and we are lunging a bit deeper. Chest stays up, lunge a bit deeper, and then all the way back into a runner's stretch. Remember, the spine isn't flexing and extending. You're keeping that lower part of your spine pretty much the same. It's just the chest is lifted and pushing forward. Chest is still lifted and pushing forward. Chest is lifted. Chest is lifted. Keep going. Beautiful. Quite a quick movement here. Not spending too long in the lunges. Whee. Beautiful. Alright, so we're going to come all the way down here now into what we call a 90-90 position. So seated, from this hip, leg 1 comes out at 90 degree, second leg out at 90 degree, so they're perfectly like a symbol that I won't mention. Okay, and then we're going to be leaning forward, chest is reaching, nothing again happens with that lower spine. Lengthen the back of the head and come back up. And we're just leaning forward. You're welcome to have your hands on the mat. Just make sure nothing is changing with your spine. You're just reaching your chest forward as if you're trying to get it over that front knee. Keep the length in the back of the head. Beautiful. Let's switch sides. Coming over. 90-90 position. Awesome. All set up. Nice and lifted out of my hips. And I'm bringing my chest forward. Lengthen the back of the head. Coming back up. Forward. And up. Forward and up, forward. If you suffer from sciatica at all, bring yourself so you're coming out at a 2 o'clock angle with this one. Again, really reaching the chest forward and coming back up. Chest coming forward and back up. Alright, last mobility exercise, and we're doing some straddles with some rainbows. So one arm over the top of the other, come across so that your leg is in the middle of your shoulders, lean forward with the chest as far as you can, sweep around, big rainbow, as soon as you get your shoulders so that the other leg's in the middle, come up, back down the same leg, rainbow around. Coming up and forward. Lengthen the back of the head. Coming forward. You can even rest your forehead onto those forearms, and that'll help you to maintain that slight chin tuck. Beautiful. Last one. Awesome. Okay, so that's our mobility done, and we're going to move into our Pilates section. So I'm going to talk to you again about our T-zone. So if you want to just come down onto the mat into our starting position for today, remember you can have something underneath your head if you naturally overextend through the neck. So we want to be thinking about that T-zone. So remember, we're pulling the pelvic floor up, and then it's as if we're trying to shorten the gap between the hip bone to hip bone, pull across, and then flatten the whole thing down and relax. Get those fingers inside your hip bones. Okay, so pulling the pelvic floor up, hip bone to hip bone, flattening down, release. Pulling up, hip bone to hip bone, flattening down, release. Pulling up, hip bone to hip bone, flattening down, release. And again, up, hip bone to hip bone, flattening down, release. Are you feeling that contraction? Should feel nice and doughy now when it's relaxed. Nice and doughy in there. And then as soon as we pull up, hip bone to hip bone and flatten down. And you'll notice how you get that extra little contraction when you add in that hip bone to hip bone. That's really important for turning on your transversus abdominis. And then we flatten the whole thing down. Awesome. So, next thing we're going to remind you of is neutral spine and imprinted spine. So let's make that diamond with the hands, base of the palm on the hip bone, and then fingertips on our pubic bone. And remember, neutral spine, that will be completely parallel to the floor. So just play around with your spine until you feel like you've got that. And just feel how you've got that natural lift in the lower part of your spine. And now we're going to pull our lower abs down towards the mat, imprinting the spine. Fingertips have slightly lifted. So go play around. Neutral, imprint, neutral, imprint, neutral, imprint. Beautiful. So then remember that we've got our chin tucked, so length in the back of the crown. Shoulders down and back. Then get your hands onto your lower ribs. We inhale, expand our hands into our ribs through the nose. Exhaling with the mouth, ribs closing down towards the hips. And again, inhale, expand. Exhale, closing down. Inhale, expand. Exhale, closing down. Beautiful. All right, so we are all set up, ready for our first exercise, which is going to be bent knee fallouts. So we're going to actually have our legs squeezing together here. We've got our chin tucked, shoulders down and back, neutral spine. Hands relaxed down by the side. And then T-zone tight with the inhale. Exhale, we're going to peel our right knee away from the left one. Inhale to bring it back into center. Exhale, the left leg's coming out. Inhale back into center. If you're finding this move really easy, then also just take into consideration how much rocking is going on in your hips. Because we want absolutely zero, nothing at all, and you really tighten through the T-zone to allow that to happen. So it's super controlled. As you exhale, ribs to hips, knee comes out, inhale, T-zone pulls that leg back in. Exhale, ribs to hips. Beautiful. Okay, so we're just going to do some ankle taps. So let go of your bent knee fallouts, and what we're going to do with this one is just be bringing, alternating knees in. Really important here that your head curls up first and then you bring the knee in for the ankle tap. Head curls down, curl the head up, ankle tap, come back down, curl the head up, ankle tap, back down, T-zone tight. Exhale, ribs to hips, ankle tap. Inhale, back down. Exhale, ribs to hips, ankle tap, back down. Exhale. Inhale to come back down. Remember, you're rolling each vertebrae down one at a time until your head comes down, and the same with your head. So your head leads up and then you peel the rest of your vertebrae up. Beautiful. Just a couple more here. Don't leave that head behind. Really tightening through the T-zone. Rib to hip every time you curl up. Inhale, come back down. Exhaling, curling up. Inhale back down. Beautiful. Okay, and rest back down. So we're going to get our hands behind our head and then imprint your spine. So pull those lower abs down towards the mat. Bring one knee at a time up into that 90-degree tabletop. Knees directly over hips. Okay, squeeze those legs together. And we are going to exhale. Inhale to tighten the T-zone, then exhale, curl the head up first, head up first, head up first, curling all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. And then inhale, come back down. Tighten that T-zone. Tuck that chin and exhale. Curling, 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 curling. And then inhale, coming back down. Quick body scan, chin tucked, shoulders down and back, imprinted spine, legs squeezing together, toes pointed. And exhale, curling up. Keep your eyes on your knees as you curl up. Inhale, come back down, peeling that vertebrae down. Exhale, curl the head up. Reaching up. Inhale, coming back down. If you want to make this one easier, put those legs back down on the mat and just curl up from here. Keeping the eyes on the knees. Back in a neutral spine as soon as the legs come down. Remember that curve. If you want to make it harder, you could always be holding up, really extend, really reaching, curling up as high as you can. Can you get your shoulder blades up off the mat? Hold, hold, hold. And then come back down. And reset. Chin tuck, shoulders down the back. T-zone is tight. Exhale. Inhale. Peeling back down. This is your last one. Then feet are going to come back down. Take a moment just to rest. Okay, now we imprint the spine. Then raise the legs up into tabletop. 90 degrees. Knees over hips, squeezing together. Hands are going to be straight up in the air above our shoulders. Chin is tucked, shoulders down and back. T-zone tight, spine is imprinted. Okay, so we inhale T-zone. Exhale, this time you're going to curl your head up and then sweep the hands down past the hips and extend the legs. Inhale, bend the legs. Knees come back up, curl the head back down. Reset. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale. Curl the head first, sweep the hands, extend the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, curling the head back down, hands come up. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, curling up first, reaching and extending. So keep going with this one. Quick body scan, make sure your chin's still tucked, shoulders down and back, hug those arms back into your shoulder sockets. Really imprint that spine, make sure your knees are still over the top of your hips. And exhaling, you're reaching up. Really try and lift those shoulder blades up. Inhale, knees come back down, arms come back overhead. Okay, T-zone's tight. If you want to make this one easier, just have a little rest in between. If you want to make this one harder, then let's curl up. We extend and we are reaching, reaching, reaching with those fingers, lifting those shoulder blades up, curving from that bottom rib. And inhale, come back down. Beautiful work. Okay, so we're going to come all the way up into seated now. And we're just going to start to introduce this curve, this flexion in the spine. Okay, so not one for anyone who's got a disc bulge. Don't want you doing this one, okay? You just take a little rest or find a different exercise to do. Okay, so we're sitting up nice and tall, chin tucked, shoulders down and back, neutral spine, ribs are closed in, and we've got our feet flexed, ankles squeezed together, heels driving into the mat. Okay, arms are just out in front. This time, as we exhale, we're going to start to curve from the lower part of the spine all the way down. Arms stay hugged into the shoulder socket. Chin tucks. Inhale to hold. Exhale, curl back up until you're sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, curve. Hold with the inhale. Exhale, curl back up, sitting nice and tall, ankles still driving into the mat, and curve. Curl back up, so keep going. Remember, inhale is where you're tightening your T-zone, you exhale on both the movements, down and up. So exhaling, tuck that tailbone under, hug those arms back into your shoulder sockets. Exhale to curl back up, T-zone tight, and then exhale, curl the tailbone. This is your last one here. Ow, 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 little ants. Okay, so we're coming all the way over onto our front here, and we're going to just do an activation for our lower trapezius muscles. So I just want you to have your forehead on the mat, legs are out long behind you but relaxed, pubic bone slightly pressing into the mat, abs are pulled in. Think about that ice cube underneath your belly at all times in these positions to support your spine. Okay, so arms are just reaching out in front of you, and I want you to think about that point in between your shoulder blades where you would clasp a bra together, and you are pulling that in and down towards your bum. And release. And again, just focus on that point. You might really struggle to even feel anything here. Don't worry, you're not supposed to be feeling a huge movement. And the more that we build some upper body strength and the mind muscle connection, the more you will feel this contraction. We've just got to start somewhere, that's all. So forehead down, and just think about that point in between the shoulder blades, drawing together. Your hands should very slightly move back down towards your head as you tighten, but it's very slight. Make sure you still got that ice cube underneath your belly button, supporting our spine always in this position. Beautiful. Okay, so now I want you to bring your hands around to pretty much so your hands are like level with your head. And what we're going to be doing now is a swan preparation. So without pressing any weight through your hands, we want to have the chin tucked, shoulders are down and back. We've got our T-zone on and our abs lifted, but legs are just relaxed, okay? And this time, as you inhale, you're going to pull your head up first, very slightly, keep your eyes on the mat, curving up until you get to that bra line. And exhale, come back down. So, inhaling, just curving up with the top part of your spine. We're not bringing the lower part of the spine into this. And no weight through these hands. You can even lift them off if you're feeling strong. So keep going with this one. Inhale, to curl up. Really pull those shoulder blades down and back, and that'll help you to get that curve up. Exhale, come back down, think ribs to hips. Inhale, pull those shoulder blades down and back. Eyes stay on the mat. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, coming up. Head comes down. Keep going. Really think about pulling those shoulder blades down and back to allow you to get that upper part of your spine. Okay, when your head gets down, we'll rest, and you're going to bring your arms all the way around until they're down by your side with your palms facing up. Fingers squeezed together, make a little cup with your hands. Okay, so shoulders are down and back, and then what we are going to do is lift our arms up until they're level with our hips, and you're going to start to rotate with the shoulders all the way from side to side. Really reach out through the arms here. There's no bend in the elbows. Only make the movement as big as you can before you want to start to bend the elbows. Rotating from side to side. Don't forget about that ice cube under your belly. Keep those abs lifted. Pubic bone slightly tucking into the mat. Shoulder blades down and back. Really pull them down. And if you're feeling good in this move, then pull your arms up a little bit higher towards the sky, but keep that like length in the arms. Beautiful. Keep going. This is a really good one for your triceps. Okay. Nice. Lift them up a little bit higher, or you can rest them down. And relax. Okay, so the hands are going to come underneath your forehead. We've got our chin tucked, shoulders down and back, abs lifted, and pubic bone tucking into the mat. We're going to do freestyle legs, which is going to be working our glutes, okay? So make sure you've really got that T-zone turned on and the abs lifted. It's really important when we start to do this one. And even lift your chest up slightly so that you can get that rib to hip connection. Okay, and then you're just going to start to pulse your legs up and down as if you're doing the freestyle kick. But the main thing is here, you don't want to be rotating through the pelvis. So just make it a really small move and focus in on what's happening at your hips. Are you keeping your pelvis straight, or have you started to rock side to side? Really reach out with the legs. Find as much length in the back of your knees as you can. Lifting up, shoulder blades drawing down and back. Abs are super lifted, and you're initiating this movement from the glutes. So think about the whole of your quad lifting up and down, and you just keep your legs straight. And it's the glute that has to work here. Shoulders down and back. They really want to creep up when we start doing work in the lower body. Keep going. Pushing up. Pushing up. I know this one burns. Keep going. Last one. And rest. Okay. Bringing your arms back down beside you. We've got another round of flight. So head is on the mat. We have got our shoulders down and back, chin tucked, abs are lifted, ice cubes in there, pubic bones slightly tucking in the mat, legs are relaxed. Okay, so inhale T-zone, exhale, lift the arms up and start to rotate. Make sure you've got that little scoop with your hands so your fingers are squeezing together. And we're just rotating all the way around. Focus all of your attention on what is happening at the shoulder joint here to get real good rotation. Find as much length in your arms as you can. Don't want to be bending through those elbows. If you're struggling with this one, have a little rest down and then come back up. But if you want to make this one harder, raise those arms up, really pull your shoulders up and away from the mat and rotate from there. Pulling those shoulder blades down as much as you can and keeping those shoulders lifted up away from the mat. Keep going, keep pushing. Find length in the arms. Abs are lifted. Shoulder blades down and back. And rest. Bring those hands back out in front of you, forehead resting down. We've just got one more Pilates move. So forehead on the hands, shoulders are down and back. We have got our abs pulled up, T-zone is tight, and we're going to raise our legs up off the mat, turn the feet outwards, so we're externally rotating at the hip so that our heels are together. Now really lift your abs up, tighten the T-zone, and as you exhale you're going to start to beat those heels together. Keep beating. Really stretching out through the backs of the legs here. And check in on those shoulder blades. Have they started to creep up? They really want to creep in these moves. So you keep them pulled down. You keep your abs lifted. Really drive out as if you're trying to get your heels to the wall behind you. Really pushing. Beating those heels. If you want to make this one a bit harder, lift those thighs up away from the mat a little bit more, but make sure you don't collapse into the abs. Keep the abs lifted. If you want the easier option, do 3 beats and then rest back down. Reset the body, shoulder blades, ribs to hips, lift the legs and then do 3 beats and come back down. Reset the body and then come back up and do 3 beats again. Remember, if you want it harder, you are lifting the thighs up away from the mat, but you're keeping your abs super pulled in. Super controlled. Shoulder blades down and back. Keep pushing. Last one. Woo! And you can relax. How good was that? So good on the booty. Okay, so roll yourself all the way over so that you're on your back. We're just going to do some nice spinal twists, okay? So I'm going to bring one leg in and we're pulling it across to our side. And I'm just going to keep my eyes to the sky. This other arm is out in a cactus. And I'm trying to get this knee down to the mat. Some of you might be able to achieve this. I cannot on this side. And just nice, gentle breaths. Really allow your spine to twist over. Super nice stretch, this one. T-zone still tight. Okay. Now just gently roll back into the center. Okay, and just do some knees to chest for a second, swapping sides, gently pulling them in. Keep that chin tucked. Okay, now when you pull in that opposite knee, you're going to pull it all the way across to the other side. Eyes to sky. And then cactus arm. And I'm trying as best I can to get my knee down onto the mat on the other side, which I also cannot do on this side. But I can feel an absolutely great stretch all the way down my spine here. Feels so good. Just breathe nice and slow. Okay, come back into center and just reach your feet and your hands away from your body. Reach, reach, reach. Wriggle those fingers and toes. Get all the blood flowing. Pull your arms out of the sockets. Pull your legs out of your hip socket. And relax. Ah, it's so good. Well, guys, I almost forgot that I was filming a workout then. I enjoyed that one so much. I hope that you guys also really enjoyed it. And that you'll be coming back for episode number 4 of 20 sessions in this boot camp. Alright, have a wonderful day, guys. Take it easy. See ya.